Hi everyone, welcome to Third Coast Gaming Impressions, or Gaming Radio, actually. What is today? It is March 21st. It is episode 22. I'm joined by my co-host, Austin Taylor. We're talking about the news first. Yeah. We've been gone for a bit. We're back, though. Took a week off.
Yeah. Standard operating procedure. You talk about the news first, and then you use that to bury the features and editorial content.
Here you go. I told you I was going to send you a link, Austin. It's cursed.
And that's not a dig on anyone I've worked with in the news industry. That's just...
What if you're digging for fossils?
What is this?
What if you're digging for fossils? Skip to about 45 seconds. It's a Rick and Morty Animal Crossing trailer. Thing they made. It came out yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, this is weird.
Yeah, I mean, that's Rick and Morty, I guess. I don't know. I have... Every time I see this show, I just die a little on the inside because of how rabidly toxic a lot of people I know who watch it are.
The fan base is terrible, but I continue to love that show. I don't know. I just thought it was weird and adorable. Speaking of things that aren't weird and adorable, I watched that fucking Snyder cut of the Justice League.
Oh, you put yourself through that?
You know, it wasn't bad. I had a good time.
I mean, it's probably, like, I don't think it's going to be hard to have a good time once I eventually sit down and, like, decide to consume that content. I just saw Birds of Prey on HBO and decided I had better things to watch.
Yeah, Birds of Prey is pretty good. I don't know, it came out like 2 or 3 days ago at this point, and...
Yeah.
I was watching a couple scenes from the original one, and was like, oh, this movie is totally different. Like, the first hour of the Snyder Cut is just like a bunch of backstory stuff that's like more interesting than anything else that happens in the movie. Like the Nightcrawler scene where the bat Nightcrawler is climbing around and they're fighting Steppenwolf. The scene's boring, but everything else is pretty good. I was into it. It's 4 hours. It goes by pretty fast. I watched like up to where, spoilers, they resurrect Superman, and then I stopped, and then I watched the rest like the day after.
What, you mean they didn't change that bit? They still resurrect Superman in the movie?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, but they he has a black suit now.
Yeah, I am excited to see like Henry Cavill as a Superman without like the weird CG face in that movie.
Yeah, no CG face makes it a lot better. What was the other thing? Although there is the one thing I don't like about like Snyder movies is he'll do these really cinematic shots and then he'll just go to like back-to-back camera when two people are talking, and he doesn't do anything like interesting with conversations or dialogue where like other directors I like David Fincher and Quentin Tarantino like do a lot more like different kind of shots during their conversations and stuff. But that's like a nitpicky thing for me, where it's like there's a weird transition between, oh, look at this beautiful landscape and people talking.
Yeah, well, there's a huge like difference in how like those two approach conversations, like speaking to like Tarantino and like Snyder. Like, so much of Snyder's stuff is done on green screen and like with special effects happening in the background that like you can't really get as good establishing shots as like Tarantino, who puts his characters in a setting. Like, you're never gonna get a Snyder movie where he has a conversation that's half as interesting as like the bar scene in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. All right, hey, let's get that's my Snyder minute. You know, we're gonna have a Snyder minute every podcast now. Next time we'll talk about the one where they're in the insane asylum. I don't remember the name of that movie.
Sucker
Punch. Yep.
No.
We're starting off with the big news. Just kidding, it's not that big. But Halo Infinite, no elites, or you can't play as an elite, and you can't dual wield, Austin. What a shame. I love dual wielding. I think they didn't have dual wielding in 4 or 5 also. So
No.
Was it in? I think it was in 3 though.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
can go
like the
ahead
last
and throw
time we
me.
had dual wielding in Halo game was in 3.
Not in
Like
Reach.
you
I don't
could
think you could in Reach.
no, you couldn't dual wield in Reach. No, you could not.
Dual wielding's so cool. Bring it back. Bring it back. Two
Yeah,
SMGs.
I think with like 4, I can speak to like if 4. I can't necessarily say the same about 5, but like they 343 beefed up the damage of like the weapons you would dual wield, like the Needler in 4. So like I can see why you think you don't need to put that in there. Like they'd have to do a lot of rebalancing to make dual wielding work for their games at this point.
Yeah, like the SMGs play like they're still high damage, but they're just the damage fall off and like the range
Yeah,
is cut on them.
yeah. I mean it's a bummer. Um, I get not being able to play as elites, kind of
Maybe that was like a
maybe.
co-op thing. It was like I kind of liked playing as elites when you're doing co-op in Halo 3 also.
Yeah, but I mean it's just like elites have never really been the focus of like the multiplayer customization aspect, right? Like you had some customization in 3, but then like you get to Reach and it's just like different armor sets you can choose to be um with like slightly different UI elements, right? Like there's more curves to the bars of the Elite UI than the Spartan UI. And so I get just not seeing that as like a worthwhile investment and deciding not to do it. It's a bummer because aesthetically, like I think Elites are pretty cool, but I'm not super like
Yeah.
disappointed.
I wonder if we would see like an elite DLC for Halo Infinite. I don't know. I'm just curious what that game is going to be. I know. I feel like it's going to be more of like a Far Cry open world than like a Destiny open world with missions. Like you're not going to have loot
I
numbers. I
think
don't think you're going to have loot numbers. But you might have like a skill tree. I don't know.
I mean, from what we've seen and from what like 343 have talked about, like it's probably actually going to resemble Destiny in like open world structure more than it will resemble a Far Cry, right? So it looks like you're going to have specific missions that are going to be taking place within larger hubs because that's kind of always been 343's thing. Once they got their hands on Halos, that they want missions to take place in much larger hubs to offer more like sort of availability for like player like emergent narrative through gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, on to the next one is this Necromunda Hired Gun trailer dropped on the 18th as well. And this is in the Warhammer universe of 40K, 40,000, the future dystopian society shit. So Necromunda is like a human planet where they do mining and shit. So, and it looks a very Doom. Like you have a grappling hook and you're jumping around, and you have like a dash, and the shotgun reload's pretty good. Shotgun's pretty good, Austin.
Yeah, I hope so.
It is being developed by the team who did the Space Hulk game, Struman Studio. I played that on PS4. It was like it felt like more like a PC game that just they put on console. I'm curious how this will come out, if it's just like plays better on PC. Um,
I mean, it probably will. I think it being an FPS though, it will probably be a bit more approachable on console
yeah.
than like other previous Warhammer games that they've published and
Mhm.
put out there.
Oh, here it is. The Necromunda planet is a producer of munitions for the Astra Militarum. Lasguns, autoguns, shotguns, bolters. Yeah, the humans. Okay, neat. And then lots of hive. They call it a hive city. I don't know why. Because there's a bunch of
Was
archaeology
it
on the
like
planet.
was like the Hive City being
Yeah,
like a faction or it being like just the structure of the city itself?
they're called hive worlds, and that's the pop. is the most populous type of an imperial planet.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like the structure and like how people
Yeah.
have been placed on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crime-ridden and poverty-stricken areas. All right. Anyway, that looks neat.
Yeah, I mean, it
Got
looks
some
like a
guns.
shooter. It looks like you're a very boring dude with a cool enough dog
Yeah.
and some neat looking guns.
And a dog. And wall running. There was some wall running in there, Austin.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. Good wall running. All right. Into it. I think there's another... There's a 40K, like, Left 4 Dead coming, too.
One that isn't like Vermintide?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, there
It's
is.
by the Vermintide dudes, but it's Left 4 Dead. It's 40K.
Yeah, we got like a teaser for that a while ago, I remember.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. It's called Dark Tide. There it is.
Okay.
Dark Tide. Vermintide.
Oh yeah, he's like Vermintide is just like the whatever like the high fantasy setting for Warhammer is, and you're just killing Skaven left and right.
Yeah, lots of Skaven. All right, we're getting into the bigger news. Man, Outriders is coming to Game Pass. I might just play that, Austin. I have an opportunity to play Outriders for $15, and that's better than $70. You know, I don't know if that was gonna be 60 or 70, but
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I don't want to say surprising, but like I don't know, Square Enix has not done a great job in marketing this game for like most of its development cycle that I can see like wanting to put this on like a service like that.
yeah, I think the biggest whatchamacallit advertising that this game has had is the demo being up and being free for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, it's a $60 game.
Yeah.
It's not coming out at 70. All right. I don't know. I'll play with it. I'm curious to see how the matchmaking is, if I can have people matchmake into my missions to help me out, or if I'm just going to go solo bolo.
I mean, the matchmaking in like the demo didn't seem too bad. I don't know if you could matchmake out like inside of missions, but there is like a hub in the first hub area that you visit in that game being that really poorly designed city. Yeah, I am tired of like PC Game Pass kind of being left out of stuff like this. Like this is only on console and Android.
Yeah, only console.
And I kind of wish PC Games Pass was being treated as like an equal here.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a thing where Square Enix was going to be paid more to put it on PC, or if it's something that'll come later, or if Square Enix is banking on this selling better on PC than on Xbox.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like they would want more money to put it on PC, and you know, Xbox might not have wanted to give them that like more money for that platform.
Yeah, so maybe it'll come later. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like
yeah
particularly frustrated that like I won't get to play Outriders day one, but I'm just.
Speaking of games that are coming to PC Game Pass, there's a bunch of Bethesda games that came out on. This was March 11th. We're kind of grabbing last week's news.
Yeah,
this
catching
week's.
up. Yeah.
So the Bethesda acquisition went through. A bunch of stuff came out. Dishonored 1 and 2. Doom, original Doom 1 and 2 and 64, and Doom 3. Doom Eternal, because I think Doom 2016 is already on Game Pass.
No, Doom Eternal was already on Game Pass.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Doom
remember.
2016, at least on PC, is not available.
Yeah. Oh, it can't. Doom 2016 was on Game Pass for a while, but then they got rid of it. Let's see. So yeah, Doom Eternal, Fallout New Vegas, just for console Game Pass. Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Prey, Rage 2, Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, Evil Within, no Evil Within 2, which I kind of wanted to play that game. Maybe I'll find it on sale.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
Wolfenstein, New Order, Old Blood,
yeah.
and
Young
Blood. No Wolfenstein 2.
The new Colossus, yeah.
So that's cool. That's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's a good catalog. There are definitely some missing titles I wish were in there, like Evil Within 2 and like the second Wolfenstein game. From Machine Games, this whole deal. Giving me access to Skyrim again is really dangerous.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe I should. I haven't played more than 10 hours of Skyrim actually.
Skyrim is just such an easy thing for me to put time into because it is the most junk food of video games I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, it's you hopping around doing side missions, a side mission.
Yeah, just put a podcast on and like turn the sound off in Skyrim and just go play some side missions and be like a silly little sneak thief who like puts poison in people's inventory and
Yeah, the good stuff.
It's pretty yeah, it can get pretty awful.
Donut County's on Game Pass too. What was the other one? Oh yeah, I was looking for Wolfenstein. Did I spell Wolfenstein wrong? No, it's not. It's just not coming up. This list is outdated. Gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, but this Bethesda acquisition is kind of worrying.
Yeah, and there was that statement coming from... I didn't put this in the news, but I guess we can talk about it. There's that statement coming from Phil Spencer where he's like, yeah, we bought Bethesda so we can put this stuff on Game Pass exclusively. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, like that type of thing, right? Like as soon as this deal goes through, like the whole time he'd been talking about this deal before it had been approved, or he's talking about how like games on other platforms they're going to be decided on a case by case basis. And as soon as the deal goes through, he talks about how like their goal was to build like a exclusive catalog for platforms where Game Pass is available, while still honoring their current contractual obligations, such as Ghostwire and Deathloop being Sony PlayStation exclusives.
Correct. So it's changing the landscape. Skyrim is sold very well, and there are other games in that line of stuff, like niche stuff like Dishonored, Doom sold very well. Like just having this stuff come straight to Game Pass just keeps making like having an Xbox such a great deal. Although I personally screwed up and I realized I should have bought a PlayStation first because that's where I play like a majority of my games. And looking at what's coming out is most of the stuff that I want is coming to PS5 sooner than like Halo Infinite later on, because Ratchet's coming out a couple months, and then I wanted to play Astrobot and that Destiny expansion may or not play. But that's just a me thing. There's some Square Enix stuff is coming up. Game Pass 2, Octopath Traveler, and Undertale. Yakuza 6. Narita Boy.
It's like a few days after we got quite another like nice drop for Game Pass titles that are coming out like later this month. Actually, in like 3 days for a good amount of these.
Yeah, Nier Automata coming to PC Game Pass also, and some other stuff.
It's there.
Wild.
And people are upset.
Why's that?
Because apparently the Nier Automata like port that's on Game Pass is working. It has its own problems, but it is working better than the version of Nier Automata that you can buy through Steam. So that's why people are review bombing Nier Automata on Steam right now. because that game hasn't been updated since it was released.
Oh, it's not the Year of the Yorza edition or whatever.
Well, you can buy the DLC, but it just hasn't been fixed.
That's weird.
Like there are technical problems that exist on that port that Square has not done anything
I mean,
about.
people are salty on the internet, as it turns out.
Yeah, it turns out
Mm-hmm.
gamers are angry about stuff. They're usually so reasonable, those gamers.
Got another Game Pass story here for you, Austin. Game Pass for PC adds EA Play. So,
Yeah.
Titanfall 2, Jedi Fallen Order, and a bunch of other goodies. 60 games.
Yeah. I got to mess with the EA PC Game Pass stuff and EA's new desktop app. Which, we can talk about now or we can talk about during gaming impressions.
I think you should talk about it right now. How's it going?
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's a mess. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a real mess of an app. You have to, because as soon as you go to like the Xbox app on PC, you have to, if you want to download a EA Play game like The Sims or like Star Wars Squadrons on PC, you have to now download the new EA desktop app, which is not Origin. It's a very different thing.
Oh.
And yeah, so it's not Origin. It's a whole new deal, and it's in beta. And you have to link your Game Pass account to this new service, and then you can start downloading games. But every time you want to download a game from Game Pass that is on that app, you have to basically re-verify information, and you have to have this app running at the same time as your Xbox launcher.
Kind of sounds like a nightmare.
It's kind of like when it works, it's fine, right? Like when you're downloading games, it's fine. Like when you play games, like I've been playing a bit of Anthem, uh, and it works fine getting it started, but then like closing it out is a whole deal, trying to make sure it actually closes on both apps, so that way you can run other games like Star Wars Squadrons or Titanfall. The first one is kind of a nightmare to see if it actually works, and the other thing is you can't uninstall games through that app.
Weird.
And you can't uninstall EA Play games on the Xbox app. So what you have to do is you have to go searching. You have to like find your computer's built-in uninstall function, and that's how you can uninstall games off of this service.
Yes, you have to go retro, uninstall things like a retro. I don't. Anyway.
Well, yeah, well, it just means you have to look for a specific function on your computer. Like you can't even go to the files as they like exist in the download path and delete them straight from there.
Well, sounds like they got some problems. Are you playing as the Colossus in Anthem though?
Oh yes.
Good. You got the
yes,
miniguns.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not
Smart.
I'm not going for any of that other stuff. Like just getting my real big mech.
Yeah, maybe
I want to do a steppy.
Yeah, maybe I should see if that runs on my PC. Much curiosity. Now that your PlayStation Plus has run out, you're just playing online games on PC.
Yeah, for now. I mean, I've got like a couple of. I'm hoping to hear back from like some part-time gigs, and like if I get like a good result there, I'll probably get back onto PC. I mean, PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. All right. We got the Sony block here. Sony fucking acquired Evo fighting game championship series. That's kind of wild. Returning with Evo Online 2021.
A real like straight out of left field thing.
Yeah, and I think they're a part owner of Evo. I don't think it's a whole ownership.
Yeah, it's not like sole ownership. They partnered with another company abbreviated to RTS. I'm looking for the actual like name on this story.
A joint venture.
Yeah, so like this is another esports venture, like another esports company called RTS that they acquired, that they sort of partnered with to acquire Evo.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy. Um, it, I don't know. I feel like that I don't know if it's going to shake up the landscape, but I feel like it kind of has to.
I think it'll just make Evo hopefully be run differently or better. I don't know. We'll see what
Well,
happens, or more efficiently, maybe.
well, I mean, I don't know if like efficiency is like a big problem with Evo. I know, like like they had to cancel last year because the President Evo was um, met with some allegations regarding sexual harassment of minors,
Yeah,
and that's why they had to cancel last year. Um, so I don't know what other problems the management team was currently facing that like sort of pushed them in the direction to where they were willing to sell Evo to Sony and RTS. Um, but like from my understanding of like the FGC like as a community is that like the fighting game community is that it's very like grassroots at its core, and I really don't know how this is going to be taken by the wider fighting game community.
yeah. So very
And like
curious to
Smash
see.
tournaments,
Smash tournaments, yeah.
yeah, that's the big question for people. Is just like what do Smash tournaments look like with Evo now?
Yeah, does Sony care about Smash tournaments?
Well, does Nintendo is the real question. Like I think Sony would be more than willing to host these tournaments because they make money. But is Nintendo going to be willing to have Smash at a Sony event?
Yeah. To the next one. Jade Raymond founds Haven Studios, already developing a new IP for PlayStation. I think previously before this she was working with
Stadia.
Stadia, and before
Yep.
that she was
She was
managing
lead at
director on Metal
Motive.
Gear Solid 4 with Konami, executive producer on Assassin's Creed 2, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Watch Dogs, Far Cry 4, and group general manager on Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yep.
She's been in the industry, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Jade Raymond's been all over. Like she's a really like prolific director within the industry. Like when EA picked up Jade Raymond for like Battlefront stuff, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And people were real excited. Like her studio that she was based at was like Motive, and their whole thing was, I think, introducing like that VR mission to Battlefront 2.
Oh, I remember hearing. I heard good things about that. I remember that.
Yeah, like that thing that would become, I guess, the groundwork for Squadrons.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I am interested in what they are going to do.
I don't know if I grabbed the link for this, but did you see those PSVR 2 controllers, man? Those are sick looking.
Yeah, that's a
Dude,
bit.
those are dope.
Hmm. I thought the link was in here. Yeah, yeah, like their actual new. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Their like new PSVR controllers like look like good VR controllers now instead of like the last one were just the PlayStation Move controllers, right? Like
Yeah.
from the PS3
Correct. Yeah.
that they were just, I guess, reselling, which is a move, I guess. Uh-huh. Um,
Yeah. They got finger touch
but yeah,
detection, which is what is people were looking for. I know like a bunch of those Oculus controllers had them, and the Vive stuff, where you
yeah,
can like move your fingers in VR and stuff.
and like visually, these like VR controllers look like the kind of like extended grips from like a PlayStation 4 controller
Yeah.
with like the thumbstick sort of moved up a bit and the buttons on like the left and right side of the thumbstick respectively. It is interesting. This kind of feels like I don't want to say budget, but a like more minimalist sort of take on the like Steam VR controllers that Valve put out.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. So yeah, hey, it looks pretty cool. I hope they put a new headset out too, because I heard iffy things about the way that thing ran. Because I think it's based off of lights or something, or it's the camera detecting the lights off of the headset. instead of like an inside out tracking or outside or the other kind of tracking that like Oculus uses.
Yeah, I feel like they have to. Like I don't think we're gonna get like these work with your current like PSVR headset to deliver the next generation of VR experience on PlayStation. That would have been like one of the first lines in this write up from the PlayStation blog if it was.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's going to be a new headset coming.
Yeah. So inside out tracking is like there's cameras on the headset that detect what's around you, and then the other way is just like the lighthouses, which are like camera sensors that are looking at you moving.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it like they kind of got away with that with their last headset because I don't think their last headset had like room like I forget what that feature actually is like that sort of like room scale like tracking thing that
Yeah, I think it's
you
inside
could
out
get
tracking
from
where it's like coming from the headset.
yeah like there's no experience on like the PlayStation 4's like VR thing that required you to have like a sort of like 6 foot like space around you just to make a game work like you needed for a Half-Life Alex.
Oh yeah, the room scale. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I think they just wanted you to be far enough away to where it can see the
yeah,
lights on the headset, pretty much.
yeah. And so like with these controllers, these new controllers, I feel like they kind of want to push in that direction. So there might be some room scale stuff associated
Yeah.
with this that they need to
Apparently,
actually
they
integrate.
patented the controller in like September of 2020. I don't know. I got some article that was looking at. I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to play Job Simulator on there in that Astrobot Playroom. Rad, rad, rad. Speaking of rad stuff, Austin, all these free PlayStation games coming out starting March 25th. All these goodies. I think Ratchet and Clank was one of them that was, Ratchet and Clank 2016.
Yeah,
And then you can get Moss and Astrobot and Paper Beast and Thumper on PSVR. And then this is Sony's Play at Home initiative as a part of like free games for people while they're still, stuck at home.
yeah. Well, we're still in the
Mm,
midst of a global pandemic that has killed a couple million
yeah.
people.
Res Infinite, Abzu, The Witness, Enter the Gungeon, and Subnautica. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like The
Surprisingly,
Witness.
like not in this like lineup pictured is like their big like the big blockbuster game that they put on
Oh
here
yeah,
that's coming out on April
Horizon. Yeah,
19th. Yeah,
Horizon Zero
like
Dawn.
Horizon. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn's not like in this graphic. I guess it might have been a late edition, but yeah, like yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be free for a limited time on April 19th.
So yeah, hey, cool stuff from Sony.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's good stuff. Like that's cool.
I think I have most of these. I
Uh.
don't think I have Res Infinite
Yeah, I don't think I
or
have Res Infinite
Abzu.
because like it doesn't list it as one, but like you're pretty highly encouraged to play Res in VR.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Um.
hear very good things about Subnautica as well.
Yeah, Subnautica is. Yes, yes, I know people who really like that one.
Yeah. All right.
'Cause there's
What's
like another one called like Raft or something where you have to build a thing. I keep getting those confused
yeah,
despite the fact Subnautica has you going
yeah.
underwater
That's
where
like
Raft is
the
like
one where you
trying to
have
get out.
submarines and stuff.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
ghost fish that will
Ghost
kill you.
spooky.
Um,
Um. All right. Gotham Knights got delayed till 2022, as it turns out. COVID still delaying development of games further back, which is kind of like a lot of things I've been hearing in different news articles, just like how a bunch of games that were closer to being done weren't going to be affected as much, but things that are like halfway through development or just starting development are going to be pushed back.
yeah, absolutely. Like we're not. It's gonna be at least another like 3 to 5 years before we kind of maybe stop feeling the impact of COVID on like the schedule of video games.
Yeah, yeah. I was excited to play Gotham Knights, but I can wait a little longer. I wonder what that's. I bet that'll push the timeline for that other Gotham one. I wonder if they'll come out the same year, because I think
Well, which one?
the Suicide
Suicide
Squad
Squad?
game was going to be
Yeah.
Uh, 22 as well.
I don't
Kill
think
the
they gave a
Justice League,
date.
yeah.
Yeah, Kill the
2022.
Justice League. Yeah, that I mean that'll be a whole thing.
I want to play as the shark dude. Let's go.
Yeah, King Shark's cool.
Shark's cool. Other stuff is Cyberpunk 2077 patch came out to tone down teleporting cops and pinball driving, which apparently those are problems. I didn't play enough to see those.
Yeah, so like, well, pinball driving is like, um, just like in cars specifically, there's a real problem with that. Their handling's not very good, and if you hit something, it's very hard to get control of your vehicle back.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm kind of watching a little bit swimming driving. They put out a update on their YouTube page showing how different they. Ooh, those cars, back end of that car's kick out, man. Damn.
yeah, it's like that's why I stopped using cars like as soon as I got a motorcycle in that game.
Yeah.
Um, the police response I know is something that people had a real problem with because the thing that in that game is if you commit a crime that warrants a armed police response, they pretty much teleport right where you are.
Oh, I remember seeing
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that was pretty
yeah, they
funny.
teleport immediately where you are and begin killing you, and they're always like a couple of levels above you. So they're really hard encounters that you're not like supposed to have really. Well, you're not like I don't know a serial killer in 2077,
Yeah.
but like yeah, it's really weird. The only way to avoid the cops in that game was to just get on in a vehicle and go
Hmm.
because they wouldn't show up if you weren't standing still.
I think your voice volume just changed. Can't tell. The Square Enix Spring 2021 thing announced a bunch of stuff. Black Panther and the Marvel's Avengers, and then we got the trailer for that Project Athia.
Yeah, we got the name for it.
Forspoken.
Forspoken.
Yeah. That looks pretty rad.
Yeah.
2022 game.
Yeah.
Frey
Yeah, because this is
Hollins.
like, was it Project Athia? Like this was teased a long time ago, and this was just a tech demo the first time we saw it.
Yeah, it was a woman moving through the environment.
Yeah, it was this woman like moving through an environment being like turned into gold, I guess, because Square like, has had a thing with that for a while because Tomb Raider made it famous or something.
Yeah.
Um,
This looks really fucking cool. Like I love mobility like stuff in games, so I'm
yeah,
really curious. Man,
yeah, it
this looks fucking dope as shit.
looks very expensive.
2022 to I think it's might be PS5. Yeah, it's PS5 and PC. Don't know if
This
it's
is
coming to Xbox.
interestingly, I think probably the only game that they're currently making on their Luminous engine,
Oh, is that
right?
the
Because like that was the engine that they spent like a lot of money developing
yeah.
for I think like 13 and then 15, and they haven't used since, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was their external company previously helping developing Final Fantasy 15. Or that's the company, not the engine, but yeah. Let me see. I wonder what else is going on with that. Oh yeah, there's some other stuff. The Luminous engine. Yeah, Final Fantasy
Yeah,
15 was the last thing they used it. I think.
yeah.
I don't think 7 remake uses it.
No, no, it does not. I remember that being a very like
Interesting.
something they pointed out.
Yeah, Life is
Um,
Strange. True Colors.
yeah,
I didn't play too many Life is Strange stuff. And
it
then,
looks good. I
yeah,
don't know. It's real. True Colors looks real good.
cool. I'll poke around this trailer once it loads up. This is next gen, right? Oh,
What, True Colors?
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's PS4, PS5. Like it's going to be on current and next.
Nice. It looks pretty. I need
Yeah,
to
like Life is Strange.
complete one of the games still.
Uh, I mean, I don't know if you necessarily need to. It is like they are an anthology series. The only Life is Strange games that have any sort of connection are uh, Before the Storm and the first game. That's because Before the Storm is a prequel.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I just remember
it's also
enjoying the character in the first game a lot.
yeah, like Life is Strange is a series I kind of undersell like the sort of emotional investment I have in to myself a lot. Because like from the ones I played, because I haven't played through two yet, and depending on how this vet as it goes, I'll probably end up buying two because it's on sale right now. But
And what's the
uh,
other one that people like a lot?
well,
That
there's only like three. There's
the
technically four.
what's the game that looks like Life is Strange but isn't? By Don't Nod, I think.
Um,
Tell Me Why. Tell
yeah,
Me
I mean
Why is
most
kind of
people
a Life
don't
is Strange game too, right?
kind of, but like not interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like I don't think Tell Me Why is like in the popular discourse as being like a particularly good one of Dontnod's adventure titles.
Oh, it's from the people who made Life is Strange too. That's why I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I know. Like, and I know Dontnod made Life is Strange 2 and Tell Me Why, but
Yeah.
they're not particular. I would not say Tell Me Why is a particularly good one.
Okay, I was just trying to talk about stuff. Just trying to talk about some games. It's all right. Um, see, Hawkeye also to Avengers and Outrider demo, Tomb Raider Definitive Trilogy
Yeah,
announced, which hey, just bundle those three games. I still haven't played
sure. You
them
know,
besides the first one. I keep thinking about it.
I mean,
Keep thinking about them.
you don't need to.
Yeah, but I
They
should.
don't
I
go
want to put
anywhere.
I want to put the work in, Austin. I'll just play that
I,
second one.
I mean, you can put the work in, but like, you don't have to play bad video games.
Oh, they're not bad video games. People like those games.
Yeah,
People
people like
people
those games, so
enjoy
people
them.
like
Jesus.
to say people enjoy them is. I'm sure we don't have to say like
Yeah.
trying to work bad out of like vocabulary, but I would not say I've particularly found these enjoyable. And I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd ever revisit them under the context of like, oh, like now they're all in one package.
Yeah.
Nifty.
I remember enjoying that first one a lot. Let's see. Well, here's a good video game, the Just Cause mobile fucking game. I don't know who this is
Sure.
for. Square Enix just keeps putting out mobile games.
Yeah.
And this Hitman Sniper Assassins also on mobile.
See, Hitman makes sense.
Blonde Wonderland. Yeah.
I think I think the Hitman one makes sense. I don't necessarily know about Just Cause.
Yeah. God, Blonde Wonderland looks like a nightmare. Did you watch the? Have you played that demo, or did you watch anyone play that
No,
demo?
no.
It's fucking weird.
I think I saw clips from like Giant Bomb, from like a best of Giant
Yeah.
Bomb, and I just decided it wasn't worth investigating further.
No, that game's a whole thing. The TMNT Shredder's Revenge is a looking like those old TMT brawlers. Is a new like beat 'em up game coming out.
Yeah.
Getting on the aesthetic
It,
of those looks dope.
I mean, this would probably be like the one game I could convince my siblings to play for like the first time in like however long since they've touched a video game.
Pizza Power.
Yeah, yeah. This looks like a dang. It does look good when like you see the gameplay. It does look like a nicer looking version of what was on the NES because that's what I played.
Yeah, and it's like a bunch of people from the Scott Pilgrim team are working on this. I think it's tribute. I don't know if did they work on Streets of Rage 4? Yeah, they worked on Streets of Rage 4. Dotemu was Street Rage 4. Yeah, so that both of them are working together on it. So that's cool. Into it. There's another trailer that came out called Severed Steel, where you're playing as someone with one arm and you're murdering people. Very fast gameplay, kind of like it looks like Super Hot a little bit, and you're kind of running around, dodging, shooting people.
Yeah, and it's like not. It doesn't look like it's pausing like Super Hot does, but it is going slow enough to where you can comprehend the moves that you'll be doing because you're doing a lot of, like sliding. You're also using environmental like objects. Like there's one bit where this person jumps on a gurney and begins like rolling on it and killing people with an Uzi. There's another bit where this person like does a flip over an enemy.
Yeah, it looks
and like
dope.
she's shooting them as they're mid flip.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to go slow enough that you can justify that there isn't an adrenaline meter now that I'm looking at this UI.
Yeah.
So it looks pretty generous with it though. So yeah, it looks probably going to be like a normal speed shooter up until you press this adrenaline that doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. So I imagine you'll spend most of your time in this game in that like slow-mo state.
Yeah. Let's see what else is coming. This Disco Elysium Final Cut is coming out March 30th. It's at PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Steam. Fully voiced. Real cool. Maybe I'll play this, finally.
Yeah, this is like getting this announcement at the Game Awards last year was really great because then I could justify not touching Disco Elysium until this came out. Instead of like, I'm not putting it off anymore. I'm just waiting for the final cut.
It's true.
Sort of thing. Because I have this game, I just haven't sat down with it like I've keep wanting to.
That's pretty rad. I kept hearing good things about that, and I'm like, yeah, I'll play it when they put out this. When I heard about it.
Oh, it's great. Like it is a game that is interesting in how it interprets a post like sort of like a post failed communist state and like post like police state.
Yeah.
That you investigate, that you're able to like investigate, and like the kind of like powers given to like civilians to defend against like police. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and like the different conversations you can get into with people, and like the weird, like this game remembers everything you do and like takes into effect like everything you do changes this game, and people remember certain stuff, and your skills change different conversations you can have with people.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking wild.
Yeah, like it is. There's a reason this game was like sort of lauded as being the first to really follow in the footsteps of a Planescape Torment.
Yeah. So that's really fucking cool. Let's see. Twitch and Facebook gaming apparently exploded during the pandemic. I think they put out numbers saying that their view counts are up 80%. Twitch has grown by 82%, and Facebook gaming grew by 79%. So more than 1.8 billion hours of watch time in February. And
yeah,
that was like a month to month.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you decide to blow up a platform, I mean, of course, Facebook gaming is going to grow, and what was the platform Microsoft had?
Oh,
that went away.
Mixer.
Yeah. Like when you get rid of Mixer, like, and people have to migrate to Facebook gaming, like, of course, this platform is going to blow up.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the content creators I follow have been posting stuff or just streaming on Facebook gaming.
Yeah.
People go on there.
Yeah, this is also like following like 2019 where we were starting to, well, not starting to, but like really paying attention to stories about like streamers being paid exclusivity deals.
Oh yeah, like specifically like when Mixer paid Shroud to exclusively stream, or Microsoft paid him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
And I think
wild.
Ninja too.
Let's see.
Whatever was going on there.
Yeah, Ninja as well. I have these 2 quick Capcom stories as well, and then we'll bounce. Fake Resident Evil Village beta invites, not from Capcom. Apparently someone was sending that kind of stuff out. And then, I don't know, I saw there was, some modders were changing the graphics in Resident Evil 4, and it just looks so pretty. It looks like a great way to play that game. I was watching, did you ever watch the, what is it, GameSpot has the weapons expert who will talk about the different weapons in video games.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they put one out for Resident Evil 4. That was a really good watch.
Yeah,
I enjoyed those videos.
Yeah, this HD project is interesting because this is not like just a facelift, right? Like this is in some instances a like complete redoing of like a lot of some very specific textures.
Correct.
Like walls on here look fundamentally different. Like there's probably, I think, the 3rd or the 4th screenshot comparison you can see here is like focusing in on this brick wall, and it's a completely different like texture base for this wall.
Yeah, it looks completely different. It looks like a real wall compared to like a flat texture over like something. That looks really cool. The lighting looks different. Yeah. AI upscaled textures. I love that game.
Yeah,
Holds a good place.
It's a good project. I like, if you sort of look at me, like ask me like what do I want from like most sort of remaster projects, it's kind of just something like this, right? Like I don't need like a big like Blue Point redo of things like Shadow of the Colossus. I just kind of want things to look a little prettier.
Yeah. Oh, like Stubbs the Rebel Zombie, when they re-released that. We'll get into that. I like there's this steam pipe that's completely, it looks like it's like a bunch of jars, and the other one is like,
yes.
Oh yeah, this is actual like pipes and stuff.
Yes, this is what piping actually looks like.
Yeah. All right.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it looks wild. All right. We will catch y'all next week for the news. Thanks for joining us. Where can people find you out on Twitter, Austin?
God, if you really need to find me on Twitter, it's going to be at Bruteless2 TWO.
And I'm at Travis23 Doyle. We'll catch you next week. Thanks.